to Rashida and John.
Yes.
Yes.
Why are we leaning in?
I don't know. I just felt like leaning in. I just wanted to make sure I was. I mean, I know I'm in the shot, but
Exactly.
because I already checked.
Touch you.
So today we are talking about co-creation. In specific, on the podcast that we just recorded, was about working together, not just about being in a relationship, but having defined roles in
our projects that we do together.
Yes, you know.
Yeah.
So when we talked about, well, we're going to do a podcast.
Like this one, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to do a vlog like right now. What
Right.
are the roles, you know? And even things, I think things as small as like, well, whose phone do we use to record?
Yeah.
And I need you to make sure that you bring over your tripod. And who's going to...
My responsibilities, what are yours?
Right. One of the things that I think was really difficult for me when we first started this was not knowing.
Yeah.
And I had done a couple of podcasts before, and I remember thinking if she would just get out of the way and let me do it, then everything would be fine. But that's not what
co-creation is.
No.
That's not.
And I didn't say that to her, but
Yeah.
it was, you know, it was a
Well,
feeling, it was a thought,
in energy.
In energy?
Sure. Shutting down. And
yes.
Not feeling like we can talk to each other.
So can you just expand a little bit more on what you were talking about, what co-creation means to you?
Yeah.
Between the two of us?
Yeah. So especially on this project, it was great because it was my idea originally, and then we did co-create what I thought was co-creation when we came up with ideas and did brainstorming, and we assigned. It was so cute. We were sitting here at this table, and I was on my computer, and he was on his computer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're getting so much done, and this is so cool that this is flowing this way, because he had his assignments. Mm-hmm. Like setting up certain social media things, and I was buying a website, things like that. And I'm like, okay, I got that done. Did you get that done? And we were checking stuff off. And it felt really, really good and clear. And that was towards the beginning of this process. So then as we kept going and making, schedules and things like that, something happened where there was a bit of unclarity about our roles. And that's where, for me, again, the heart of it was to co-create it and for both of us to feel really good about it. And to do it together if we could. And not for one person to be in charge. That doesn't feel like co-creation to me. It felt when it's the two people only. So I wanted us to both feel like we could lead the way and see where each other was coming from and agree on things versus me going, you need to do this, you need to get it right. I had no desire to do that, and yet it was coming off that way at times.
At times, there was a little bit of, I think, resentment on my part, or feeling like, well, if she's gonna act like the boss, then just be the fucking boss and just tell me what to do, and then I'll just do it for this stupid little thing, which is not how I feel at all about it, But there's that moment of like, I don't care anymore, like just whatever. And I don't like to feel that way either.
Neither do I.
No. And to be on the same page and really know what that means for both of us, and for both of us to feel flexible enough to be like, hey, you know what? I know we scheduled it this day.
Right.
Now, can we move it over here? Or for you to say, I know that you have, like, it was really sweet to say, I know you have other things going on Tuesday, and if you wanted to, we're going to be doing this thing on Monday. Let's do it on Monday.
And so that's where we are.
And that's where we are right now. So that I was able to, now I have a little more free time and flexibility tomorrow to possibly work on the other things that I was going to be stacked with. So, and how great is that? And I think that reaching out, that was the beginning of co-creating this day right now. If I trace it all back, was like, oh wow. I can't wait to get over there, because we're going to get all this. It's going to be this, not only is this going to be this huge weight is lifted off of me for tomorrow necessarily, but it also, there's all these other fun things that we can incorporate into it. So it wasn't just work.
Yeah.
It was fun, and it was play, and there was delicious food, and we got to go on an adventure.
Adventure,
as my nephew puts it. And it really, like, it was that lending of, or that saying, reaching out and saying, hey, I've been thinking about how much you have to do tomorrow.
Right.
Can we do this? We can do this today if it will make it easier for you.
Right.
You were reaching out to me, and I was like, oh, okay, that's perfect, awesome.
And logical. I'm so into things being logical and being as effective as we can. That's also at the heart of effective co-creation. It's like, how do I use time most effectively? I realized he was going to come over here tomorrow to do this. Like, let's just get it done. Why should you make 2 trips? Yet then a little voice of, well, but we said we were going to do it tomorrow came up. But I'm like, that's okay. It's okay to be flexible, and if it makes sense,
especially if it's not like, oh, let's put it off for next week. It's
right.
Let's be more effective, and gosh, this would be really easy. And it's just, it was like this. It was like you gave me this little gift, and so it just was. I was so happy to come over and like, okay, this is cool, great. This is a perfect use of time.
Yeah.
So,
in addition to the other things that we got done today, one of them was a Tai Chi class. We took a Tai Chi intro class. It was intro for John and a refresher for me. I took it probably almost 15 years ago now, and so it was a reintroduction for me. And you can check out a video. We'll insert where to do that. By poking something.
The Tai Chi video.
Yeah, and it was really, really wonderful to do that with you, and to kind of dovetail into I'd let you take the lead of like, okay, what do you want to eat? Noodles always. So our favorite place wasn't open yet, but I had to run an errand anyway, and so the timing of all the things worked out, and it felt so good to know that I was getting what I needed done and that he was getting what he wanted, and the balance, and
it was all there today. So
this is one day of life together.
This is one day.
4 years, almost 4 years.
Who knows what tomorrow will bring? But at least we know that we did our best today, and that we reached out to each other. And that's the thing, that it's like, well, how can I help you? And how can I help you?
What is it that you need today?
And so that support, well, that's what true support is in creating a day, in creating a relationship, is like, what do you need? Not
And there might be times where I can't give you exactly what you need, but I'm here to listen, or maybe I can make a recommendation like, well, I don't have the resources to give you that, but I know so-and-so might, maybe, and vice versa.
So,
and we talk about that on the podcast as well, like how we get through times where it's like, clearly we're not giving each other what we need, and it's very chunky and uncomfortable, and how we get through that.
Yeah. So
together.
It was great to get through and be a part of today with you.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's a joy, and sometimes it's chunky.